Welcome back to London Tech Week. Joining me in the Tech TV studio are Phil and Ron from Juniper and Affirmed. Thanks a lot for joining us, gents. First of all, fill us in for anyone who isn't aware what Juniper and Affirmed does. Tell us the story. Phil, how about you?
Well, Juniper Networks, we're leaders in routing, switching, security, and in SDN and NFV. And in this particular case, we're going to be talking about our relevance in SDN and NFV to the mobile network operator.
Sure. And how about Affirmed?
Affirmed Networks is a leading deployer of virtualized evolved packet core solutions. So we're the core part of these mobile networks. You know, we talk to the phones, talk to the UEs, and we're disruptive because all of our solutions are virtualized. Right.
Let's talk cups. It's a new term for me. Fill me in. Where do we go?
Yeah, so CUPS is control user plane separation. So this is something new. The 3GPP has defined this in its release 14. And what it allows is to take the packet core that used to be sort of one and split it up into two pieces, the control plane piece and the user plane piece. And they're logically separate. They can be physically separate. You can have many user plane pieces managed by the same control plane piece. So it gives you a lot of flexibility in terms of the topology of the networks that we build.
From a standpoint of NFV and SDN, it gives us the ability to deploy a distributed telco cloud, a distributed cloud environment where compute and storage are now distributed across a centralized location where the control plane would be, and locations closer to the edge of the network where the user plane would be. And since it's all virtualized, NFVs. That's a natural fit for a distributed telco cloud.
Okay, so we've got you both in the studio here, both Juniper and Affirmed. What's the relationship? What are you working on together at the moment then?
Well, I actually have a good example where we took a customer use case of a mobile network operator who was provisioning for enterprise users who had both a CPE, right, a customer premise type of environment, as well as mobile users, and they wanted to orchestrate them as one network, right? So we took the opportunity to take those the CPE, use Contrail service orchestration as a means to do zero-touch provisioning. The Affirmed service activation platform then was used to extract the configuration information from CSO and orchestrate tunnels, IPsec tunnels to the CPE equipment, and then bring up the enterprise users by configuring like a new APN and that sort of thing, and configuring the tunnel all the way through from the mobile users to the landline locations. It's a great opportunity to show how automation across two different company products really solves a customer need.
You got the same story from your side?
Yeah, well, I think it's a fabulous story because it really brings together assets from both companies and showcases our approach at Affirmed to service activation. We've got an automation platform which is very configuration centric, and we always draw these pictures of activating services and we show them as instantiating new VNFs, chaining them together, and we say, voila, there's a new service here. But in real world, it's typically much more complicated than that because there are physical devices still to be touched. There are sometimes multi-tenant virtual installations that were already present that need incremental configuration. And the Affirmed approach is we've got a completely data-driven, model-driven way to do any and all of these configuration needs. So we're able to put these assets together and get to single touch turn up across these multiple domains.
I've had a few new acronyms thrown at me over the last 10 minutes or so. EPC, Evolved Packing Core, SDN, Software-Defined Networking, obviously familiar with that. But what are the benefits of bringing all of these technologies together? There seems to be a lot of change in the industry, a lot of move towards virtualized solutions rather than physical hardware. What's next with this collaboration?
Well, it's a great question. I think we're seeing a lot of great movement in the standards bodies recognizing, catching up to some of these advancements. And there's one particular new one called Flexible Mobile Service Steering from 3GPP, FMSS, Flexible Mobile Steering. What this really is a way to integrate the policy that comes in the Evolved Packet Core network with the policy that the SDN network needs. Up until now, they've been separate, so they've been an overlay at best, and it's difficult to coordinate the two to ensure that the way you've provisioned the SDN network will get to the behavior that the way your EPC expects it to get. There was no tight coupling. Now, finally, there's a new way to couple them. So in this FMSS architecture, the PCRF, the policy control function that resides in the packet core, sends its rules down to the EPC to say, this is the way I would like your traffic handled. You should be subjected to service functions 1, 2, 3, some optimizations, NAT, firewall, whatever it is, and then how did we make sure that the SDN network, who's responsible for actually steering the traffic, knows this? So now we have a direct way to couple the policy from the mobile network into the policy that the SDN network needs to actually move the packets around. So we think this is very exciting.
Yeah, this is a natural fit for Juniper's Contrail SDN controller, where now the Contrail SDN controller is setting up service chains. That's what it's designed to do, right? Set up a new network of functions. Now the ability to coordinate with through the PCRF gives us a great way of working together and being more efficient.
Speaking of working together, how's London Tech Week been? Meeting lots of customers, working with lots of new people?
It's been great. Between meeting customers and partners, and working, we're sharing a booth, so we're spending a lot of time together. It's great.
Yeah. Any highlights? Any highlights for you, Ron?
Yeah, it's a fabulous show. I love the size. It's much smaller than Mobile World Congress, which can be a bit overwhelming. This is just right sized. You run into customers, you set up meetings. I get a chance to attend some of the keynote speeches, which have been very interesting. So I really enjoy shows of this type.
Brilliant. Listen, thank you very much both for coming down, joining us here at London Tech Week, and have a great rest of the show.
Thank you, David. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.